Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Don't climb up the slide. Quite a few moms had that rule for their kids. I didn't. If we were at a playground that wasn't too crowded, I let my little monkeys do whatever they liked. I knew my daughter had a well-developed danger button, and my son was as agile as Curious George, so I wasn't worried that they would get hurt, especially when they were a little older. I was more concerned about the other kids. If their moms limited them by telling them not to climb up the slide, for instance, watching my kids do it would tempt them to disobey their mom. So my rule was, whatever another mom makes a rule for their kids in your hearing, you follow it too. This was especially important as they got older. I explained that though they could safely play the way they wanted, others might not be able to. They might try to do something the big kids were doing and get in trouble for it, or even get hurt. So they had to learn to be respectful and sensitive to the limitations of others. This is the way God wants us to live too. We should consider others, especially those who might be weaker than we are. Paul discussed this with the Corinthians. They had asked about eating meat offered to idols. Paul replied that idols are just wood and stone, not real gods. So eating meat offered to them means nothing, and it's okay to do. However, if a weaker brother has just been saved out of idol worship, that meat offered to idols does mean something to him. Seeing you eat that meat would wound his conscience and make him stumble. That's the last thing you want to do. In 1 Corinthians 8, 9, and 12, he says, "Take care that this right of yours does not somehow become a stumbling block to the weak, because sinning against your brother and wounding his conscience is sinning against Christ. Limit yourself out of love." This applies to big things and small things. For my daughter, wearing her favorite, though slightly tight t-shirt and short shorts around the house is fine. But out in public, that would wound the conscience of a teenage boy, so she should be more modest. For me, it might mean being conservative about how I spend my money when I go out with a friend who struggles with money management, or controlling my tongue when I'm around those who I know enjoy gossip, or refraining from hugging someone at church who might take it the wrong way. For my husband, it might mean stopping completely at a stop sign in the middle of nowhere when no one else is around because his teenage son, who's learning to drive, is next to him in the car. For my son, it might mean going back inside to get his jacket without rolling his eyes because his grandmother says he might need it. I'm sure you can think of other ways that we can submit to one another in love instead of demanding our rights. As Paul continues in his letter to the Corinthians, he lays out exactly what love is and what love isn't in 1 Corinthians 13. I encourage you to read it. If what we do is not in love, it means nothing. If we're not building up people with our words, actions, and attitudes, then we're sinning against them and against Christ. But being sensitive, respectful, and submissive to one another, limiting ourselves out of love, glorifies the Lord. So let's evaluate our words, actions, and attitudes and submit them to Christ.
As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share a treasure, support this ministry, or get Carla to speak at an event, please contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.